So a lot of people don't realize how impactful the Martin House is on our community. So every time we have a criminal case, that child is interviewed at the Martin House when there's been an outcry of physical, sexual abuse, and they're interviewed there. So not only are we doing a forensic interview there, but they're able to get counseling services, they're able to receive services from advocates. So there's so many things that are going on behind the scenes that the community doesn't realize. The Martin House does not just serve these children for the interview. They go with them throughout the entire criminal process.
There are so many facets of the multidisciplinary team that we have. My role is the beginning role. The intakes that we receive for our department for investigations, we screen all of those. Those intakes are then shared with the Martin House, and the Martin House reviews those intakes. We review our intakes, and then we come together. We meet and discuss those intakes and those situations where those children are eligible for forensic interviews and that could meet those requirements and get those services, and they're referred from our agency. We call, we set up appointments, we collaborate with law enforcement. The Child Advocacy Center has everything present, and they're most gracious with their times because, we all know that abuse and neglect doesn't happen from 8 to 5. So even after hours, we're able to work together, get those appointments scheduled and get those children interviewed.
So my role here with the Martin House is that I'm going to take care of the criminal aspects of the case. And we want to come together so that we don't have to continually repeat the same process over and over. So while the child's being interviewed or going through counseling, whatever information that can help me with that criminal case, to try to get criminal justice for the family later on down the road.
It's a much friendlier environment for the child. It fosters a warmer environment for that child to give the details, the nasty, ugly details of what's happened to her. And it's recorded. And so now DA's offices have that recording. And there's one statement out there. And when law enforcement wants to review it, same statement. If a SANE nurse wants to review it, same statement. If CPS wants to review it, same statement every time, and it's consistent. And now we're not victimizing this child 4 or 5 times because of an event that happened to her one time.
I'm actually specializing in sexual assault nursing, and people frequently refer to me as a SANE, S-A-N-E. My role here is to examine the children who have made an outcry of sexual abuse at some point in their life. This has been a burden that many of them have carried around for many years. They've been afraid to tell somebody, and once they do, they're afraid that no one's going to believe them.
When they come into therapy, we go through the psychoeducation where we want to educate them to understand that they're not on this island all by themselves. Because we all know that 1 in 4 girls or 1 in 6 boys could possibly be molested by the time they're 18. So we want them to know you're not alone. We want them to recognize the emotions that they have connected to that traumatic event and what thoughts are connected to those emotions. So this is how that process begins. And once they're able to do that, we start desensitizing them to their story. And once they're desensitized to the story and they're able to share their story without all those feelings and thoughts connected to them, that's a success for us. And at that point, they're ready to graduate and move on because they have the skills that they need to be able to do that.
Moving forward, I put so much work into the case, and when we finish it, we try to deliver it to the DA's office with the pretty little bow on it so that they can grab this package and go with it. But honestly, with kid cases, it doesn't always happen that quick. So when we get a DA who's really excited to take that all that we've put together for them and run with it, it really feels good to know that they've got our backs.
When you get justice for a child who can't speak for themselves, who doesn't know who to go to, doesn't know the intricacies of the system, they don't know that they need to call law enforcement, they have no idea how a prosecutor's office works. When we can get justice for them, that's really what it's all about.
The first part of being able to help a child that's been impacted in that way, that's been abused sexually, physically, emotionally by a perpetrator, and being a small step there, a small tool to help that child is huge. But then also being able to put the bad guy away to where that he can't harm this child or any other child ever again, that's something that you really can't put into words.
So when they get ready to graduate, they'll create a hand, and they can put on the hand a quote, something meaningful to them. They can put stickers, and all hands they're all different sizes. So that's just one of the things that we memorialize when they get ready to graduate from the Martin House. They also get a certificate too, and a little party if they want to. But all of us here at the Martin House, from the forensic interviewer, the family advocate, we're excited. We celebrate that moment. We have a graduation celebration for the child and the caregiver. So it's a happy moment for us.
So what's the benefit of the Martin House? A huge benefit. Without the Martin House, our children, it would be a lot more traumatic for our children. Not only to give their statements and tell about what they've experienced, but then also to recover from that, because the Martin House gives them a place to feel safe, a place to tell their story without any judgment, and then offers them a way to recover moving forward.
What I like most about the Morton House and the multidisciplinary approach, they are more with the total effectiveness with the community members, the stakeholders, the partner agencies, which is greater than the effectiveness of anything that you do alone. And I like that they understand the holistic approach about that, because that brings in more success and outcomes that are greater in measure for the children. And when the children win and are successful, we all win.